friends. My name is Nandan. I want to talk to you about one of my favorite hobbies, which is coding. You may ask, what is coding? Coding is a language. Like when we talk to each other, we speak in different languages. For the computers to speak to them, we need coding languages. My favorite coding languages to use are Python and HTML. Python is a more simplified type of programming language compared to others like C and Java. HTML, which is one of my favorite coding languages, is used commonly to make websites. Most of the websites you see on the internet don't end with .html. I have a theory for that. Maybe it is because that when you put it in the internet, you can change the .com, the .html to any other file extension. So, now for why I like HTML. I like HTML because it is simple and easy to use, and it is very useful in building websites. But it alone isn't going to look actually very nice. So to make it look nicer, like the websites you see in the internet, we can use JavaScript or CSS. Both are used in HTML to make tabs. The websites you see, like the Chrome new tab, it uses JavaScript, CSS and HTML. This website you see behind me is created by me. My teacher taught me on how to create this kind of website. It uses CSS and HTML. JavaScript is for more complex websites, usually for ones that cannot be used in HTML, such as calculations. Calculations can be only made by JavaScript, and functions can be made in JavaScript. But for now, let's focus on this website, which uses CSS and HTML. HTML will make it look plain. So mostly the CSS is used. The rounding rotations you see, they're all CSS. All the rounding rotations you see, are all CSS. The words and the background color is also CSS. The color of the letters are also CSS. But the only thing which is HTML is this, the colored dots, the letters itself, and also the rounding rotations. It's actually in a tag in HTML which is called div. Div is like a group. So in CSS, in HTML, we need to name that group. So instead of putting like names or anything, we put class or ID. So in CSS, we take this, we we use the ID to differentiate it from others or see class. For a class, we need to put dot and the name of it, the class. And for the ID, hashtag and the name of the ID. So with HTML along with other coding languages, we can make games and other stuff. C is usually my friend told me once that C is more easier to use when making big projects than Python. He says that he made a Mario game out of C. I am sure you've heard of Scratch, a programming platform, but it is actually made out of several programming languages that make the blocks and the code and everything. The app I used to make this is called Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is useful in many ways. If you get the correct extensions and others, you can make many different types. I got the extensions. The default is HTML. I got the extensions for Python. For Python, if you want to know more, there's this thing called Anaconda tree. In Anaconda tree, there's Jupyter Notebook and Spider, Anaconda and Anaconda prompt. All of those have installed packages which you need to install in normal Python if you don't use. I had a programming book which I lent from the library, but now it's already back, borrowed from the library. So it actually is having advanced Python programming that if you are interested, you might want to learn. It contains classifiers, random trees and random forests. I actually don't know what are those because I've never tried them out myself, but according to the book, they say that it's to make smooth borders. So in Python, there are many uses for it. But did you know that Python is actually simplified as C? And HTML is actually made of another programming language, C, and another one which I actually do not know. So I hope this will make you like coding more and spark an interest in you. Goodbye. Thank you.